So today I want to talk about the DS line of systems, more in particular the DS Lite, and why I think it is so awesome, even after 20 years of being on the market, why I think it's actually a lot better than most people give it credit for, and probably than a lot of people remember. Okay, so this is my DS Lite right here. You can see I have the Zelda edition of it with the little Triforce right here. This system sold 154 million units, which is ridiculous for any system. I think like the PS2 is ahead of it and the Nintendo Switch is ahead of it. That's it. This is like third place out there. If you have a DS Lite nowadays, what makes it so great is when you pair it with one of these. So this right here is the R4 card, and essentially the whole point of this, like the whole function of it, it has a micro SD card, and you can load your games directly off of this cartridge after popping it into the DS Lites. And it makes it really, really convenient to just kind of get up and running with a bunch of games, so you don't have to carry them all around. It does not load 3DS games. It's kind of like a false advertising that they did on these things. But, of course, you just pop it in, and it turns on nicely, looks great, looks sharp. I will say one thing, these screens are TN panels. Now, it's not the end of the world. It's just like side viewing. Side viewing isn't as sharp as like an OLED or something on some of these newer handhelds that come out nowadays with the OLED panels. TN seems to be more than fine though. And there you go. I always pick Luigi because I just love Luigi's Mansion. It's one of my favorite games, and it has the Poltergeist 4000 cart. It's so cool. One lesser known thing about this game in particular though is that it actually does have like a campaign of sorts. It has missions. This is like the only Mario Kart game that I'm aware of that actually has like a sort of campaign. The sound chip on here is actually really, really good, surprisingly. So you can plug in like a pair of headphones, and honestly, it does emulate surround sound really well. It was very much ahead of its time in that regard. This is the one thing where, comparing it to like a modern handheld, this thing just absolutely annihilates like any modern handheld in battery. You can have this thing, I was saying in the beginning, you can leave this in a drawer for like years. There was like one point where I just did not touch my DS Lite for like 8 years. And I turned it on and it still had battery. So, you know, it's just one of those things. On certain games, you can pull upwards of 19 hours of in-game playtime. It's just really efficient like that, and we got second place. But it is really, really an efficient handheld. Moving over to the Game Boy Advance part of this section of the video, I do want to show you that at the bottom here, if you are going out of your way to buy it, well, there's a headphone jack I was talking about. If you are going to go out of your way to buy this, check to see if it has this little cover on it, because a lot of people seem to lose this little cover. It is completely useless. I mean, it doesn't hurt to actually lose it. Like, it doesn't matter. It just keeps it so that dust keeps out, and it does stay nice and clean in there. For the Game Boy Advance game that I'm going to be showing off, I have Mario Kart Super Circuit. It is a lot of fun. If you can tell, I really like Mario Kart. It is a lot of fun to play this kind of stuff and go back and play the older ones. But again, I have it set up so that when I put it into the system, it is just going to kind of just turn on first try. You know, it's a good game. I have a little sticker on the back. Oh, there you go. And of course, the game looks fine. And because of that native hardware, it's going to play exactly like a Game Boy Advance. The only thing you're missing on this system from a Game Boy Advance is the link cable. But, I mean, really, like, who uses the link cable anyways? I always found the controls on this game to be a little bit more hard to work with. But, of course, the game looks great, too. You know, it's playing exactly as you would see it on a Game Boy Advance. If you're going to get a Game Boy Advance, more power to you kind of thing. But it's one thing to consider to actually get one of these, especially if you were already considering an AGS101 model. Again, that's the model that has the screen that looks exactly like this. Like, it has like that sort of, it's just backlit, right? And those things on eBay are very, very expensive to actually buy. So now it's one thing to be said, though, that the price of actually buying one of these nowadays, they're super cheap. This is like one device that it just like kind of just kept up like with inflation going up. Like, this is just one that has just stayed the test of time. Like, you can still buy one of these on the used market for like 30 bucks, maybe 60, 50, somewhere in that range, maybe 30 to 60 bucks. You can find one of these for. And it honestly, it's a really good bundle, especially if you are pairing it up with one of these R4 cards. And you can even pair it with a Game Boy Advance flash card as well, so you can have access and you like have it so that you have both systems at all times, and you can just select which one you'd want. The only real caveat here, over an original DS, Like this is just better than every other way over the original DS. But if you're gonna actually compare apples to apples, the only thing that the original DS was better at was hiding this Game Boy Advance cartridge. Now, it's not the end of the world that it's sticking out. I mean, like, who cares? Like, really, it's not like the end of the world, but it's just something to keep in mind. And also, the speakers on here are actually so much better than like the Game Boy Advance lineup. Even like the SP 101s, like even those models, they have like one speaker. It's like this. So like here you get double the speak. You know what I mean? Like it just sounds way better. It's very loud. Like it's nice in person. And they're front facing, so they're really good. I will say, I've never actually owned a Game Boy Advance SP. I've always seen them at like stores and stuff. It's never one that I owned. I have a Game Boy Advance, like the original Game Boy Advance, like the purple one. I have that one, and it's okay. It doesn't have a backlight, and like this is just the way I would prefer it. I think most people do get the Game Boy Advance though, just because it has it's like the more native aspect ratio for the Game Boy Advance games. But I think at the end of the day, getting one of these is way smarter just because you have access to the DS library as well, which makes more sense to me. If you're able to overcome like the little like nuance of having the aspect ratio be a little different for the Game Boy Advance, then like it's not so bad. You know what I mean? Like you can do a lot with this thing, especially nowadays. I do think it's a very good buy and one thing to consider before actually picking up a Game Boy Advance in this current day. So, with that being said, how does the DS Lite hold up in this day and age? I think, honestly, for the money, it's pretty incredible. Especially if you can get your money's worth out of it. If you're going to play it a lot, I think it's very much worth the money. Especially considering you can get it for like 30 bucks. Like, you can find these things pretty dirt cheap. Especially comparing it to what most people would actually go to would be the Game Boy Advance SP. Mostly because the aspect ratio for anyone who wants to play Game Boy Advance games, but it's not to be said that you can't do that here for a cheap on the budget. Anyways, with that being said, if you liked the video, make sure to like it or dislike it. If you disliked it, comment down below. Do you have a DS Lite, or are you planning to get one? Or were you planning to get a Game Boy Advance SP 101? And has this changed your mind at all? If not, comment down below. Let me know why. I'll make sure to read them. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.